Ever wonder what secrets lie within the pages of a personal journal? Well, in this episode, I uncover the transformative power of journaling. Discover why I put pen to paper every day and how this simple act has reshaped my world. Hi, I'm Mark, and this is the Mr. Productivity Podcast, the podcast that's all about solopreneur productivity simplified and delivered weekly in bite-sized 30-minute or less episodes. Now, before we dig into the heart of today's episode, I have something very special to share with you. Every month, I host a live masterclass aimed at helping you increase your productivity as a solopreneur. Now, so far, we've covered a wide range of topics, everything from gaining clarity in your work to effective daily habits, decluttering your workspace, maintaining health and wellness, and mastering time management. And we're just getting started. If you're looking to ramp up your productivity and achieve more as a solopreneur, these masterclasses are a treasure trove of insights and practical tools. Head on over to my website, mrproductivity.com/masterclass. Remember, Mr. is all spelled out M-I-S-T-E-R. mrproductivity.com/masterclass and sign up for the next one. Learn from these interactive sessions, engage with like-minded community members, and transform the way you work. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to mrproductivity.com/masterclass and sign up today. So let's get started. So I want to be completely honest with you because for many years, I dismissed the idea of journaling. Frankly, I didn't see the point. Journaling, is this like a diary? And I would think of little girls in their bedrooms, dear diary. That's not what I'm talking about on the show today. I am talking about journaling to get you closer to you where you want to go. I am a huge fan of journaling now. It's no longer a feminine thing. It's no longer a mystical thing to me. Journaling is so powerful. Now, I use at this time, at the date of release of this podcast, I am using not one, not two, but 3 journals. Now, hang on. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed. I'm going to explain why. You don't have to use 3 or 2. You can just use 1. I want to give you the permission right off the top of the show. So the first planner I use is a planner/accountability/journal. So I use the 10X planner because I believe if you use this planner the way I suggest you use it and the way it's designed, it can be an accountability tool for yourself. So the 10X planner has 2 parts to it. One is where you plan your day. Now, this is not a planning podcast. This is about journaling. So we're not going to talk about the planning part of the 10X planner. But on the other side, because the planner opens up, you have a right side and the left side. On the left side is the planning tool. On the right side is where the accountability and the journaling aspect comes along. So on that side, there is a place for you to write your goals down twice. I've gone into this, why I write my goals twice, and why Grant Cardone, the creator of the 10X Planner, suggests you write your goals twice in another episode. But basically, most people don't write their goals down at all. Maybe in December, and then they think about their goals a couple times throughout the year. But when you write your goals down every day, you are increasing your chances of creating a path forward towards your goals. Can you imagine writing your goals down twice? Well, the 10X Planner allows you to do that twice. It's got spaces for the morning goals and the afternoon goals. Now, these are long-term goals. But then I also write down my daily targets. What am I going to do? What do I need to do? What should I do that day? And it also allows me at the end of the day to write down my successes. It's not enough just to write down your daily targets. What did you do good today? What went well? And you got to count the small wins, which are more frequent than big wins. That's the first journal I use. The second one is what I call my everyday journal. Now, right now, I am using the Moleskine Classic Notebook. It's 5 inches by 8¼ inches tall. It's ruled and it's got 240 pages. You can get this at Amazon as you can get the 10X Planner. Now, in this journal, which I fill out at the end of my 10X Planner time, is I write anything that's on my heart. Now, I have gotten really good recently of writing down in my journal weird dreams. Have you ever had a weird dream? You wake up and you're like, that made no sense whatsoever. For example, I have no idea where this dream came from, but recently I had a dream where I was a volunteer firefighter. Well, I shouldn't say volunteer firefighter. I know I was a firefighter, and I used to be a firefighter in a previous life. I woke up, and the dream was I was in this fire hall, fire department, bunker house for obviously a very long time. And because I had a desk and an office and all kinds of stuff all over my office, not how I would normally operate, because you know me as Mr. Productivity. I don't like to have things cluttered up. But then one day I went to, I don't know if it was a man or a woman, if it was a lieutenant, captain, don't know. And I said, hey, when am I going to get on the schedule? And they said, well, the schedule's based on a keyword that we gave you, or a code word we gave you when you were hired. I'm like, what? And so I went back to my office. I'm scrambling, looking for this sheet of paper. That was my dream. I don't understand it. But I woke up and I wrote the dream down. And I actually put at the top, had another bizarre dream. I don't know what's going on. And I didn't see faces of anyone. That's another thing. But I know it was me. So this everyday journal, when I do it in the morning, and sometimes I do it at lunchtime, sometimes I'll add an entry before bed, it's just what is ever on my heart. I don't overthink it. Sometimes the journal entries are longer, sometimes they're shorter, but this everyday journal is what's ever on my heart. When my father passed away, that was, pretty self-explanatory what I journal about that day, but I don't overthink this. And I'm going to talk about overthinking about it in just a few minutes. So that's my second journal. My third journal is what I call my planning journal. Now, this is not to be confused with the 10X planner I use. The planning journal I use, and the one I use, is the Gallery Leather Desk Journal Acadia Navy. It's 8.5 by 5.5 inches. That's the size of it. Gallery Leather. Why'd you say leather twice? I guess Amazon has it twice. Gallery, easy for me to say, leather desk journal. Now, this is where I write out my personal philosophies, my organizational principles, my 365 or 1 year goals. I also put my 3, 5, 10 or more year plans in here. And I go really in depth with life changes I want to have, maybe targets, values, non-negotiables, life rules, rituals. Now, this is my newest journal, and this is not one I necessarily write in every day. This is when I want something to be a part of my life, something I would want to maybe read as a book, maybe every day, every other day. So this is not really something I write every day. Remember, I already told you I have a daily journal. This is what I call my planning journal. This is like dreams I may want to have someday, or what I used to call dream days. So again, the 3 journals I use is the 10X Planner, which plans my day. And also I write my goals twice. I write down my daily targets, and I write down my daily successes. Then I have my everyday journal. And this is what's ever on my heart. And third is my planning journal. Now, let me give you a few tips about journaling. First of all, don't overcomplicate. I don't know what's going on with my lips today. Don't overcomplicate the process. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. So many people are like, oh, I got to go take a course on journaling. I got to listen to some podcast episodes or some blog posts on journaling. No, I mean, you certainly can do that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you're listening to my podcast episode on journaling, but I don't want you to overcomplicate it. Just get yourself a journal and start journaling. It's better to start than to overcomplicate. Number 2, don't procrastinate. There is no perfect journal app or journal book, notebook, hardcover, print, whatever you want to say. Now, personally, for myself, my journals are all print. The 10X Planner is a print journal. The Everyday Journal from Moleskine is a print journal, and so is my planning journal. Now, yes, you can use your computer. Yes, you can use an app. I recommend you don't, because there is science behind the fact when you actually grab a pen and you actually write down what you're going to write down. There is some connection between you writing, connecting with your brain, rather than getting your keyboard or your screen on your phone and tapping it. Trust me on this. If you've never journaled in a physical journal, makes a big difference. Now, don't procrastinate and say, what would Mark use? What would Robin Sharma use? What would Brendan Burchard use? No, I gave you what I used as a reference point. I'm not saying you have to use these journals. I'll put a link in the show notes, but I'm not saying you have to use these. These are the ones I use and bring tremendous value to me. But don't procrastinate. If you don't have a journal, maybe you go buy one on Amazon, but maybe you start journaling, get a notebook. And you must have a notebook, surely, laying around the house. And just start journaling. Just start. Now, remember, there is no wrong or right way to journal. There's the way that works for you. Let me say that again so you don't miss it. There is no wrong or right way to journal. There's the way that works for you. So don't do it the way I do it or anybody else does it. If you feel that you journal, well, I'm going to take a little bit from Robin Sharma and a little bit from Brendan Burchard and a little bit from Mr. Productivity, and I'm going to take a little bit from my neighbor next door and a little bit from my Aunt Sarah. That's great. If that works for you, 2 thumbs up. I want you to experiment with your journaling. I want you to do research, read books, read blog posts, listen to podcasts like this one. But then I want you to start experimenting. And guess what? The way I journal has changed over the past several months. You'll find a rhythm, and then you'll be happy with it. And most importantly, you'll look forward to it. All right? Just start. If you haven't started journaling, or you started and stopped and started and stopped and start, you see where I'm going? But if you haven't started, start. If you are journaling, hopefully in this episode, I gave you a couple things to think about. Oh, I never thought about that. Journaling my dreams. Or maybe you had a bad day. Maybe someone cut you off in traffic and you journal about that. You felt this way. You felt angry. Why'd you feel like that? What led it? Maybe something that you were experiencing that day magnified the person cutting you off. Journaling is so powerful, but just start. Thank you so much for listening. But before you go, please do me a favor. If you found value in this episode, and you probably did because you listened this far in, would you do me a favor and share this episode with 2 or 3 of your friends so they get the same value as you did? I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget, you can head on over to my website, MrProductivity.com, MISTER, MrProductivity.com, to find out about my live monthly masterclass, read my blog, or find out anything else you want to know about me. It's all at my website, MrProductivity.com. Again, thank you so much for your time and attention for listening to this episode of the Mr. Productivity Podcast. I'll be back real soon with a brand new episode. Before then, don't forget, stay productive and stay positive.